Hi friends, today we're looking at the Book of Ruth in the 5-Minute Bible, and the year is 2024. This is the Onhus Institute of Biblical Studies, and I'm your old pal PapaDale. I'm a retired pastor, teacher, theologian, and professor with over 50 years of service to the Lord Jesus Christ. But if you want to know more, there are other videos on this playlist that you can look at. So for now, let's get right into today's study, which is the Book of Ruth in 5 minutes. The Book of Ruth is nestled in the Old Testament and is a beautiful narrative that reflects the themes of loyalty, faith, and God's providence. This short yet profound story chronicles the life of Ruth, a Moabite woman who exemplifies steadfast love and devotion, making her a vital figure in biblical history. The story begins during a time of famine in Israel, which forces Elimelech, a man from Bethlehem, to move his family to Moab. Here, his sons marry Ruth and Orpah, Moabite women. After Elimelech's death, his sons also die, leaving Ruth and her sister-in-law Orpah widowed and vulnerable. Ruth 1:1. Upon hearing that the Lord has provided food for his people in Bethlehem, Naomi decides to return home and encourages her daughters-in-law to stay in Moab. Orpah chooses to stay, but Ruth famously declares, "Where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God." Ruth 1:16. This declaration demonstrates her profound loyalty to Naomi and her willingness to embrace the God of Israel. Upon returning to Bethlehem, Ruth's situation is precarious as a foreign widow. However, her determination leads her to glean in the fields of Boaz, a relative of Naomi's husband. See Ruth 2:1. Ruth's hard work and commitment to provide for Naomi illustrate her character and the biblical principle of diligence. Boaz notices Ruth and acknowledges her loyalty to Naomi, stating, "All that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband has been fully told to me." Ruth 2:11. Boaz exemplifies the kind-heartedness and provision that the law of Moses encouraged towards the poor and the foreigner. Leviticus 19:9. As the story unfolds, Ruth continues to find favor in Boaz's eyes. Naomi encourages Ruth to seek Boaz as a kinsman-redeemer, and this is a relative who has the obligation to redeem family members in need. Ruth 3:1-4. Ruth follows Naomi's instructions and approaches Boaz, who is moved by her selflessness. He agrees to be her redeemer, but first must clear the matter with a closer relative. Ruth 3:10. Ultimately, Boaz marries Ruth, redeeming her and allowing Naomi's lineage to continue. Their marriage results in the birth of Obed, who becomes a grandfather to King David. Ruth 4:17. This genealogy illustrates God's providence and sets the stage for the coming Messiah, as Jesus is a descendant of David, and so a descendant of Ruth. The Book of Ruth beautifully encapsulates themes of loyalty, redemption, and God's divine plan. It demonstrates how God works through ordinary lives to accomplish His purposes. The last verse of the book encapsulates this truth, affirming God's sovereignty and faithfulness, as even in difficult times. He weaves a tapestry of grace and hope in a world that is marked by uncertainty. Ruth's story encourages believers to trust in God's provision and embrace His redemptive purposes. And so, I'm your old pal PapaDale, and this is the year 2024. The lecture that you just watched is the Ruth lecture from the 5-Minute Bible for the Onhus Institute. And so, until the next video, this is your old pal PapaDale signing off for now and saying, I will be praying for you, that you will be well, and that you'll be blessed.